McLaren MP4 12C, later known simply as the McLaren 12C, is a sports car like no other. When released in 2013, those in the car industry said Ferrari should be worried. Featuring a carbon fiber composite chassis and Lambo doors, it's powered by a longitudinally mounted rear mid-engine. With its twin turbocharged V8 engine, this speed demon maxes out at 8,500 RPM, with 80% of its torque available at just 2,000 RPM. This produces an absolutely mind-blowing 0 to 60 time of less than 3.5 seconds. And its custom red and black interior makes it feel like you're cruising around in a mobile Mercedes-Benz stadium. It's sleek, it's sharp, it's advanced, much like Tanya Jordan, host of 3CI's Talk Show Connect, who I'll be picking up shortly. All right, so we're here, Dragon Army headquarters. You want to take a look?
Heck yeah, this is amazing.
Let's go to the cafe.
All right. So, Jeff, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
For all of this, for hosting us, Dragon Army, the Willoughby. This space is mind-blowing and beautiful.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
And shout out to the designer.
Josh Charles, Flags of Origin.
Josh Charles, Flags of Origin.
Yeah, did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, the cafe feels like a cafe.
It does.
Inviting, warm. Yeah, that was the idea.
You want to show up to a place every day where you feel inspired, and this absolutely does the trick.
Yeah.
So this is great. And we just hung with Telly, and no matter who you're interacting with here, the theme, good vibes, is just rampant throughout. You know what I mean?
Thanks, I appreciate that.
And I think that's a testament to the culture that you are very intentional about fostering.
Yeah.
So, for those who are watching and don't know, tell everybody what a big deal Dragon Army is. And Jeff is super humble, so I'm begging you to brag.
What a
please.
big deal?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell a couple of big deals.
Okay.
So we were just recognized as one of the fastest growing companies in Atlanta.
Heck yeah.
The fastest in our category, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
We have great clients. We get to work with Turner and Coca-Cola and Home Depot and some awesome brands in town. I'm particularly proud of the culture. I feel like we've got something special here, and I think it's because it's purpose-driven, which is different than my past companies. We actually have a true purpose that inspires us and keeps us moving toward a common goal.
So the purpose
is to inspire happiness. And so I think about that. We think about it through three lenses: positive relationships, impactful work, and doing good. But at the heart of it, I just feel like if we can have people who are excited about their job, that are part of a team, that are exposed to opportunities to do good, that the world will be a little bit better, and there'll be ripples of positivity in the world that, maybe they're a little bit nicer tomorrow, or don't get in a fight tonight with their spouse, or just a little bit, of positivity. And so we start there, and yeah, it's a great mission because everybody's really behind it.
Well, it's working because we didn't talk about this beforehand. I wasn't like, okay, so I'm going to say good vibes, and you're going to talk about culture. We're completely riffing right now.
Yeah.
So it's working because that's what I felt.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, and it's inspiring and it's great. So for people watching, like my mom, who isn't super.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Mom.
Isn't super tech savvy, but is like, well, this is amazing, and that gentleman just seems delightful. Explain it to my mom. What does Dragon Army do? What does Turner or Home Depot pay you to do?
Yeah. So I'll give a few examples that would be easy. So honey baked ham. So if this holiday season your mom were to order a ham, we would have built the e-commerce website for that to happen.
Cool.
So that's an easy example.
That's an easy example.
There's a Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson one-off match that they're playing soon. If you watch that on a digital device, we made that happen. We built the technology for Turner to allow you to stream live sports.
Wow.
So yeah, two examples.
That's great. That's super great. See, okay, Mom. So now, don't text me what does Dragon Army do? I'm just giving you a hard time. But yeah, this is awesome. And Jeff, you are, there's a few people in the city of Atlanta that I really gravitate towards, that I am inspired by. We're all super busy, don't really get to hang out ever in real life, but because of your thought leadership, I feel like we have a relationship in a way because I can read your words. So on jeffhilimire.com, and we'll have that link in the description below, you blog and you write, and how do you do that amongst everything else that you're doing?
Yeah, I want to ask you the same thing because you're everywhere and I see you all over the place and I'm like, how does she do that? And then I see you with your son and I'm like, and she's a mom too and she's present. I think it's just prioritizing time and really understanding where you want to spend your time. As I get older, I start to realize that time is really the most precious commodity, and if I can't make sure that I'm focused in the right areas, I'm never going to achieve the things I want to achieve. So reading more, watching TV less.
Amen.
Less, for me, less networking events, more one-on-ones to help people. So things of that nature. And writing for me is important because it helps move all my balls forward.
Yes.
So I can write about nonprofits I'm involved in and hopefully help them a little. I can write about leadership, which I think also helps my team, but also potential people who want to come to Dragon Army. So I sort of look at things, and if they can hit 2 or 3 of the big items, then they're worthwhile for me to do.
And I'm in this space now where I am thirstier for information than ever before. I am craving those wisdom nuggets. I am praying more than ever for wisdom and clarity. And just super thankful for my health and the opportunities that are around right now, because they will not be there forever. So how do you stay inspired? Where are you being fed? You're feeding a lot of people, but who feeds you?
Yeah, that's great. Actually, the biggest influence on me over the last several years has been reading and learning about Bobby Kennedy. And I had not known much about his life, but I read a book about him probably 2.5 years ago, and realized that he's probably the best model for me to think about how I want to do good and have a positive impact on the world. He's has every advantage in the world and one more than me, in which he grew up rich. So white man, I have all the check marks, right? I'm the most privileged person, except I didn't grow up rich. But in the last several years of his life, before he was assassinated, so he was assassinated 2 months after Martin Luther King, he was running for president. This was 1968, and he was running on a platform of helping the poor, and it was democratic, but it was more so we need to all come together and make the world a better place. And he was just throwing caution to the wind and not worried about what people would think. And it was amazing, the power behind his campaign. And then he was taken from us. And he was 42, which is my age when he was. So it just sort of hit me at the right time. I'm like, oh man, this is sort of the model for me. And I read a ton, so that helps as well.
What are you reading right now?
Well, I just finished Why We Sleep. So we talked for a minute about sleep. And I'm now convinced that good sleep is one of the most important things you can have. The science behind every part of your life that it impacts, it's mind-boggling. Everything you can imagine. You sleep better, you're going to perform better.
It's regenerative.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of being a mom, my son is amazing. I love you, Jackson, so much. But he needs to know why. So it's not enough for me to say, go to sleep, you have to sleep, do it because I said so. I need to actually explain to him dude, if you want to do better at baseball tomorrow, you actually need to go to sleep now, because your muscles will perform and your brain will be sharper. And
that's really interesting. You know what you ought to do is track a few times when he slept well and did well, and then present that to him.
He would eat that up.
Yeah, right?
He would eat that up. Yeah, and I don't know if your children are, having sleepovers ever, but that day when they come back from having a sleepover, it's not fun.
Absolutely.
It's not fun at all.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and adults, it impacts your interactions with people. It impacts memory. It's insane how much sleep impacts memory.
Absolutely.
I had no idea. So
I actually started taking these magnesium gummies. It's like Natural Calm or Nature Calm or something.
Really?
You get them at Whole Foods. They're just little magnesium gummies. I give them to Jackson too.
Right before bed?
He gets 1 a day whenever.
Okay.
Adults can take up to 4 a day. Because I was sharing with Jeff off camera, I recently actually just gave up coffee because my anxiety was off the chain. So I'm drinking tea. I do drink black tea because
with caffeine.
Yes. But the caffeine level was and the anxiety level was nuts. And so my chiropractor was you're probably magnesium deficient. Take these gummies. And I was like, all right, dude. I'll try. And
you felt the difference.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So speaking of mental health. and we've talked about leadership and business and family, but how do you, with great responsibility, or with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
How do you deal with all the responsibility?
Well, why did you use that phrase just now?
Because it's like echoing in my brain every day.
Because what's so interesting is that, so that's Spider-Man's phrase.
Are you serious?
Sort of.
It's not like Einstein.
With great power comes great responsibility. That's his thing. And I grew up and that was my guy, right?
Oh,
Spider-Man.
wow.
And so, I talked about my privilege earlier, and when I went through Leadership Atlanta in 2013, that's when my eyes were open to this privilege bubble that I lived in, right? I thought, gosh, I've worked hard, I've built my companies, I'm out of my mom's basement and credit card debt, and it was tough. And then I realized, but I had every advantage. I walk into a room, I'm taken a little more seriously, like everything's slanted in my direction. So went through Leadership Atlanta, and the combination of sort of understanding all this and then realizing, like Spider-Man says, with great power, which I feel like I have power. I feel like I have something that I shouldn't have, but I do, that there's a responsibility there. And so that's why my personal purpose is to have an outsized positive impact on the world. Yes. And so now I feel like I have to find ways to make sure that I'm living toward that. But it's really that phrase that sticks with me to say, gosh, what a waste if I'm not using that for good, right?
Which is why there's no time for, binge watching the latest HBO series. No offense to my friends.
I'll be picking up Game of Thrones when it comes back.
Okay.
I will be
so
doing
there is
that.
a little bit of like,
there is.
We're just going to have fun and zone out for a little bit.
That's right, yeah.
So speaking of giving back, there's 48 and 48.
Yeah.
And that is a big deal.
It's getting big.
When did it start?
So I co-founded it with Adam Walker in 2015.
That's only 3 years ago.
Yeah, so this is in the fourth year now.
Okay.
So what it is it's a hackathon we put on in cities where we bring several hundred people together to build 48 nonprofit websites in 48 hours. This will be our fourth year in Atlanta, and we'll have 350 people come to do this. It's amazing. We're in London later this year, so it's been growing really quickly, and I think opening people's eyes to volunteerism, which is really the goal.
Yes.
The reason I wanted to start it is because I had all these great, amazing people over my career in marketing and creativity and technology, and they never could figure out how to use their skills, their power, to do good. It was always, hey, let's go, and we go to a food pantry, and that's awesome, and they need our hands. At the same time, my team has the ability to help them infinitely,
scalability.
And so that was the impetus behind it. And so what we want to do is unlock that globally. So the big goal by 2025, I want to have 48 events happening around the world on the same weekend, all at once, and that's what we're marching towards. So we're doing 6 this year.
Yeah.
We've got some work to do, but trying to make a big impact.
It gives me chills. And the website is 48in48.org.
That's right. Yeah.
So everybody watching right now, go to that website. We'll have that in the YouTube description below.
Yeah, and you can volunteer. You don't have to be in the industry. You can help in any way. So we take all types.
Man, when's the next one?
October 12th, right here.
October 12th in Atlanta.
In this space. We're going to host it here. Yeah.
You guys, if you're geeking out about how beautiful the space is,
come visit.
October 12th, come to the Willoughby, and then we'll skateboard after, maybe, who knows, maybe we'll go to Wild
Or
Hair.
during. You need creative breaks. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
And you have an amazing family,
I do.
Beautiful, kind wife, 5 children,
5
correct?
children, yeah.
5 children.
Yeah.
2
that are my favorite? What are you bringing?
No, 2 biological, 3 adopted?
3 biological, 2
3
adopted.
biological, 2 adopted, okay. That's another goal I have one day.
Do you?
To expand my family
awesome.
through adoption.
Yes.
So walk us through how that has impacted your life.
Yeah, so it's so powerful, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So both of my Chinese children were found on the side of the road, one in a basket, one just on the side of the road. When they were, one of them, my son was, I think, 2 days old or something. And so to be able to bring them here and give them a life, and the impact they've made on us is just as great as the impact we've made on them. I mean, it's amazing. And to see my biological children, just they're part of the family. There's no it's just amazing. So yeah.
Thank you for doing that. It's awesome. My brother-in-law and his wife have adopted 3 children now from the Congo,
Okay.
in addition to their biological child. That's my son's age, and it's just one big happy family.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's so awesome.
It is.
You make an impact in so many ways, probably beyond what you can fully realize. I don't know how many people are asking you how they can help you, and so I wanted to ask you that today. Like, what do you need? How can we, as a community in Atlanta and a community across the globe, help you? What can we do for you besides, 4848, tell everybody you know about Dragon Army? What else? What can we do for you?
I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think I would just, I don't have a good answer. I would say that I would, I feel like we all, like anyone watching this, right, has access to a computer or a phone that they're watching it on. Like, we're all sort of
1%.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I say that on my blog. I'm like, if you're reading this, you're reading a blog. Like,
Right.
you are doing just fine. I just feel like I wish more people would be aware of all the needs that are out there, and then look for unique ways for them to make a difference. And I think that would make me the happiest, quite honestly. If my book was out, I'd say, please check out my book, but it's not going to be out for a while. So, yeah, I think that would be it. Getting involved in 48 and 48 would be great. I would love that. But I think just finding a way to make a difference would be good.
Okay, so you heard him. Figure out how you can make a difference in somebody else's life and go do it, and then you will make Jeff Hilimire ridiculously happy.
Yeah.
And that will be a win for this episode.
Yeah, so my purpose is to have a positive, outsized impact on the world. So yes, this would be a way. Like, if 5 people do something soon because of this, then I win.
Awesome.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So I'm super into productivity, and like, I probably read more about it than actually like, and you do as much as anybody, and I see you being an engaged, active parent. How do you stay organized and on top of it, and like, what tools, what tips do you have?
So I have tried every single app
Yes.
and plug into Slack and like everything you can possibly imagine. And honestly, Google Calendar
Yeah.
is the thing that I stick to. I put everything on a calendar, even picking my child up from school morning and afternoon, because if it's not on there, I could get sucked into something like this and be
Yes.
like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm 30 minutes late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when I'm in something, I'm all in. But if my watch buzzes, it's like,
Yeah.
oh. So
What
Google-
about color?
Oh yeah.
Color coordinating
If it's all
your-
the same color, forget it.
Nice.
There are different colors.
What about reminders in
Yes.
Google Calendar?
Yes, I have to
love
have
the
them.
reminders.
I have to, and they stopped working for a little bit, and it
And you
threw.
went nuts.
It's like I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like it's close to the end of the world because I just rely on it so much.
Yep.
So yeah, Google Calendar's everything, and off
Same.
camera, we've got Sam, who is in earshot hopefully, but
Yeah, you were bragging about Sam earlier.
yeah, she is the most organized human on the planet, and she runs the ship. So it's being okay with delegating.
Yes.
There was a
Yes.
long period of time where I was like, I have to do everything because I'm a control freak. But once you realize that you cannot scale
That's right.
if you're doing everything, and you will not sleep.
That's right.
So delegating to people where their strengths lie that free you up to do what you're best suited to do.
100%. Perfect. I love it.
What else you got for me?
Yeah. So, how can people help you?
Oh,
Because you also have a purpose to do good.
Yeah.
And so,
thank you.
how can people help you?
That's a great question. I think one is if you like real conversations with inspiring people, subscribe to our YouTube show.
Yep.
It'd be great to know that people care about what we're doing.
Yep.
So there's that, and then I'm the CMO of Bark, which is technology.
Such a great
that
company.
keeps children
Oh
safer
my gosh.
online. We save lives.
Yeah.
Very passionate about mental health.
Is it bark.us?
Bark.us,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you want to rally around, keeping children safer online, you can visit that website and connect with me and figure out a way to partner.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so we're going to wrap, but I'd love when your book is about to come out to help launch that. Like,
I
let's
appreciate that.
tell
Thank
people
you.
about it and I want to read it. Like, let's hype it up.
Thank you.
You want to do a little teaser? Like, do you want to?
Look directly into the camera.
Yeah.
There we are. Yeah, the book is tentatively called The 5-Day Turnaround, but it's to help leaders of teams within established companies or nonprofits to think more like an entrepreneur and more like a successful startup. So one of the things that I think is crazy is you've got successful startups that are just blowing up, right? And then you've got nonprofits or teams within large corp that are just like stagnant. And the intersection of those, I think, is where I want to try to help people grow fast, especially in the nonprofit sector. Because those are the Barks of the world that are not a nonprofit, but doing such great work. And it's sort of right in the middle. It's a startup and it's doing good, but just not enough of that. So the view of the book is to really help people unlock the ability to be an entrepreneur, but within a corporate environment.
Yeah, that's going to do well. So I know that you can't wait to read it. I can't wait to read it. Jeff Hilimire, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
This is awesome. This is probably going to be one of our best episodes. Mike, what do you think?
We're getting the head nod.
We're getting the head nod.
Nice.
All right, high five.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.